Okay, let's take a look at page 2 of your worksheet here and the last problem on this side. Let's take a look at it here. We'll just read quickly through it and answer the questions. It says, right out of college, Maria is hired by a company where her first year of pay is $35,000. So long as she does a good job for the company, she will get yearly raises. Maria has the choice of one of two options for her raise. So they're actually giving her a choice. So if we take a look at the first one here, it says, write the recursive formula and find her salary for her 6th year of work, U sub 6, if she receives a $2,000 raise each and every year. So you actually have two things you need to find here. First of all, we need to write the recursive formula. And then second of all, we need to find out how much she is making on her 6th year of work. So if you remember the recursive formula piece, we start with our first term. So it makes sense for this value here to be a 1, U sub 1, because it's her first year. And according to our problem up top here, she is making in her first year $35,000. So I can go ahead and write U sub 1 equals 35,000. That's the first piece. The second piece, again, is how do we get the second year and the third year and the fourth year? So we write the recursive piece. So this U sub n, the next term, we get by taking the previous term, 1 less than it, n minus 1. And then how are we getting our raises? According to this information here, we're getting a $2,000 raise. So it's going up by $2,000 each and every year. So we're simply just adding $2,000. So now we want to find U sub 6. So again, this is where we're going to use our calculator and use that last answer feature. So we're going to start with 35,000. Note that that is her first year. We're going to add 2,000. Hit enter. We know that's how much she makes in her second year. Do it again. That's how much we know she makes. Whoops, I didn't mean to do subtract there. So I'll have to start over again here. My apologies. 35,000 plus 2,000. So there's her second year, plus 2,000. There's her third year, fourth, fifth, and sixth. So in her 6th year, she's making $45,000 a year as salary. All right, so we are done with part A. We got both pieces. Scroll on down here, we're going to move to part B. Part B says, write the recursive formula and find her salary for her 6th year of work if she receives a 5.5% raise each and every year. So this one, similar to the previous one, we want to write the recursive piece. So we're going to have the U sub 1. She starts with the same salary, 35,000. Now this U sub n minus 1, the recursive piece, getting the next term from the previous is going to be a little different. She gets a percentage raise. Okay? Since she's getting a percentage, she's getting only 5.5% of the 35,000 along with the 35,000. So anytime you see these percentages, and since it's a raise, since it's going up, we're going to be adding something to the 1. The 1 represents the original $35,000. So you're going to be taking 35,000 times 1. You get your 35,000 plus an additional 5% or 5.5%. So remember to write that as a decimal. You got to move that decimal place over 1, 2 spots. Hence why the zero's in front of it. Now you can leave it like this, or as you get more and more comfortable, I like to actually write it all together, because when I type it in my calculator, I actually like to type in the last one. You can type in the one above as long as you're using parentheses. So now we need to find U sub 6. So going back to my calculator, I start with 35,000. And I'm now going to times it by 1.055. That's why I like to do it, then I don't have to deal with the parentheses. So that's how much I get out of my second year. Times it by 1.055. Times it by my third year, fourth year, fifth year, and sixth year. So my sixth year, I am making $45,743.60. So that was $45,743.60. So, our last question here. Here's the challenge part. If Maria were to stay with the company for only 6 years, which option would be best for her to choose? Now, when you first look at this, you might be saying, well, if you go back to the top here, I would choose the 5.5% raises because look, I'm making more money in my 6th year than in my 6th year getting the $2,000 raise. However, if you go back to your calculator here, it's a little bit hard to see. But one of the things you also though want to analyze and talk about is, well, how much do they make each and every year? And take a look at it over the whole 6 years. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare the $2,000 raise, okay, versus the 5.5% raise. And I'm going to look at each and every year. So in the first year, they both make $35,000. We know that. Now what's nice about the $2,000 raise, we can get, and again, this is the first year. So we want to do it for the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth. Because what we really want to do is look at how much does Maria get for all 6 years. Because after 1 year here, she was at $37,000. Now just to show you, in this method that we did earlier, when we did 35,000 and times it by 1.055, Maria was actually only getting paid $36,925. So right now, just after 2 years, the combined income would be better under the $2,000 raise. So it's going to be important to look at every single year. So this one again is easier to do since it's just adding 2,000. So I'm just going to take a minute and add 2,000 for each and every single year. I'm going to do the same thing now here for the 5% raises, but I'm going to use my calculator. So I have the second year, times it by 1.055. I get my third, my fourth, my fifth. I'm going to note those and I'm going to write those down, and my sixth. So I'm writing these all down as I do them. I don't want to do them all, but go slowly and write them down one at a time. So, just to let you know, on that second one, or for the third year, she got $38,955. Still notice how it was less. Then finally, $41,098.45. I'll start rounding to the nearest penny since we don't get paid, in fractions of pennies. So $358.86, and the last one we knew from Part B, $45,743.60. So now, in the first, if we just do some comparisons, in the first 3 years, the 2,000 raise is better than the 5.5% raise. But in the fourth, the fifth, and sixth year, that 5.5% raise becomes better. So the question becomes, which one's better overall? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add up their salaries over the 6 years. So if I add up the $2,000 raise, if you trust my math, you can use your calculator and plug those all in. I would just plug in the 35, 37, 39, 41, 43, and 45. Forget the zeros, knowing that you can just put the zeros at the end. If you add those numbers up, you do get $240,000 over the 6 years. Now, if you do the same thing for the 5.5%, this one you actually have to type them all in. You actually get $241,080.91 over 6 years. So when taking a look at this, yes, the 5.5% raises or option is better, and it's better by $1,080.91 over the 6 years. And I'm getting that just by looking at and comparing these two. This one here is $1,080.91 more than the $2,000 raise. That completes your homework assignment.